Hi, I'm Miles.
And I'm Marika.
And this is I Don't Know What I'm Doing.
'Cause we don't!
Guys.
Hey!
Hi. Or girls, women.
People
of any and simultaneously all genders.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
Yeah.
We're not with it, guys.
You took a 2-hour nap.
Maybe 3, but still, I was very late coming here.
Marika's ETA was 6:30. Her actual arrival time was 7:50.
Yeah. So.
Which, whatever. Mm-hmm. We start every episode with our fails of the fortnight.
Yes.
Because we record fortnightly.
Yeah.
And
that's
Marika.
so great. I'm so happy we do that. Oh, my fail, besides coming late, is over the Labor Day weekend, I went to Michigan. Mm-hmm. And I did not pack for fall. Even though I knew I kind of should have. I kind of packed for fall-ish. It was going to be the low 70s, 60s and going to be rainy. And I kept, I asked Adam, who basically planned the whole weekend, or I just tagged along to his plans because he invited me. That hey, are we going to the beach? He's like, yeah, we're going to go to the beach multiple times. And I'm like, okay, great. Are we going on a boat? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, great. Even though I looked at the weather and it's 60 degrees and rainy. And I'm like, maybe we'll change. So I packed 3 bathing suits. I packed 3 dresses. I packed some shorts, mostly t-shirts. But really all I wore were leggings, some jeans, and hoodies the whole weekend.
So you brought warm things.
Yeah, but not warm enough.
Oh.
It was kind of yeah, it's warm enough maybe, but I should have brought a jacket. Did not bring a jacket. Did not bring any long sleeve shirts.
Okay.
So I wore 2 hoodies underneath t-shirts for that.
You wore hoodies underneath t-shirts?
I mean, sorry, no. I wore a t-shirt underneath my hoodie, which I normally never do because I hate that.
You just wear a hoodie with a bra?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and these t-shirts are not thick at all.
Yeah.
Except for my pajama ones. And I'm I brought 2 of those. And I'm okay, great. So I'm this was smart. And also, all I brought were mostly sandals except for some tennis shoes. And it's it. I didn't pack accordingly at all.
Well, it seems at least you packed a variety.
Barely.
So were you just cold?
I was cold and I felt I hope people don't think I don't have any clothes because I do, because you've only seen me in these 2 hoodies an entire weekend, which was 5 days.
I mean, but now Marika has graced us with black and white leggings with dirt on the knees, or
yeah.
a roughed up knee.
It's from my workout this morning.
And then a Michelob Ultra V-neck t-shirt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jamie has this shirt, I think, too.
Whoever Jamie is.
Jamie Fisher.
Listeners, you may or may not get that reference.
Yeah. I don't know, it's only one knee that gets, the dirt when I work out.
They're both dirty, though, right now.
But one is more dirty than the other.
Why? Are you working out in a field?
No, that's, the floor of my gym.
Oh, ew.
Yeah.
That's gross for them.
And for
they
me.
should feel gross. Yeah, and for you.
And for me.
They should be all of our clients are walking out of our gym with dirty knees.
Well, everyone's
awkward.
wears dark colors except for me. I have white on these.
Yeah.
Which I like. Mouse?
This week was so boring. What even happened? Labor Day weekend.
You did not do anything?
No, I did.
You know what? You did not send me a happy birthday text on my birthday. That's your fail.
Oh, no. That's my fail. Yeah.
My birthday was on a Saturday, and then I think Miles texted me happy belated.
I was like, when can you do the podcast? Also, happy birthday or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Well, I just want to say belated is an amazing adjective. I love that we have it to be like, belated, to be like, I fucked up, but...
Yeah, you texted me on a Tuesday. Happy 33rd birthday.
I know, and that's a big birthday, I think. I think a 33rd because that's the year that my was my mom's age when she had me.
Same.
So,
that was the age of my mom. Yeah.
So that is a big deal for you, then.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I had a dream about going to a clinic to get pregnant, and I kept asking, how do I do this? And they kept giving me different answers. It was really frustrating.
How's that going?
Yeah, I'm like really scared because I'm like thinking about like I have to live with my parents again, and just having to walk on eggshells all the time is not probably the best for me and my baby. So, really don't know.
But I thought your roommates were like, Marika, we're gonna back you up. We're gonna feed nachos to the baby. Like,
they're stupid. A baby's not a dog, okay? Like, it's very nice for them to say, but like.
But dogs don't get to play with Japanese swords.
Just to give you a little reference, guys, like Adam used to have swords all over the house, like mostly in the living room and my current room right now, but he took them down, thank God. On display for some odd reason. Not that he fences or anything like that.
Like as art objects.
Yeah, you could have one cool one. They all look stupid. Okay.
Are they like legit like swords?
Kind of. They're not sharp, like except for one maybe. Like I don't.
Do they have cool like hilts or
no?
No. Scabbard.
No.
Okay.
Like one or two. They all look the same. So. Yeah. So like I can't rely on them like because I'll eventually move out. Like. You know.
You can't rely on the swords?
Yeah. To kill my baby? No.
To kill your baby?
No.
Something's got to kill it. Okay? Your mom, your mom's evil. What's going to go on with your parents' evil cats and the baby?
I think about that too.
Marika's parents have these two cats that just like, if you like look at them, they like hiss like they will like.
Well, one of them, Tiger, does that. I gotta like bite the bullet and like not be afraid of the relationship with my parents.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, because I say this to my students all the time, like, you know, like, well, what happens if you don't do it and you're gonna regret it and and if I don't do it, I know I'm gonna regret it.
Don't do it, like, don't have a kid.
Yeah, like, if I wait to, like, find a man.
Yeah.
Like, that will probably happen when I'm, like, 36. I'm like, no. Then you have a geriatric pregnancy and, like, all these complications maybe and all that shit. Mm-hmm. So, no. And I'm worried, like, what if I don't find by that time? Like, so yeah. I don't know, a lot of things.
Well, maybe it's in the stars.
Maybe!
This is me transitioning.
I know, this is a very exciting episode for me, because I'm into this type of shit.
You guys were super excited. Mm-hmm. Wait, what is this episode called?
I don't know.
I don't know, astrology?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're super excited. We have the woman that does my hair.
Yes!
And Kailey, hello.
Hi! Hello! Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Wow. You guys, yeah, so Kailey, do you want to talk about what you're going to do for us today, I guess?
Yeah. When I'm not making Miles beautiful, I am obsessed with astrology. And we were talking one day when I was doing Miles' hair, and I was telling him about how much I'm into it and how much I know, and then told you, you know, I'd love to do your guys' birth charts. So that's kind of what we're doing, is we're breaking everything down, talking about your birth charts, explaining, you know, a little bit about, like, the basics of astrology and kind of getting to know you guys.
Yeah, in the stars.
Yeah, seeing what the universe has to say about you.
Yeah. How did you get into it?
So my dad was into it when I was little.
What?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so he was into it, not quite as much as I was, but like I remember him like always giving me little gifts like with my sign on it. Like,
cute.
yeah, like cute stuff like that. And like I remember he like gave me a book one time about astrology, and I was like super into it because I think I was probably like a preteen, and I'm like, who am I? Like, you know, like in that like self-discovery phase.
Like, I need to have a personality now.
Yeah, and I'm like, who am I supposed to be? With all these hormones and yeah, so I really like I've always had an interest in it, and I really think like the last couple years especially with social media and like how much like astrologers are starting to like kind of be like recognized, and it's definitely something that I feel like has blown up like a lot through the last couple years. So that really did help me dive into like more about it, and also like it kind of correlates with like spirituality, like really getting more into that aspect of my life. And I've always been into like spooky things, so anything like with the occult and tarot and astrology and so like fun. I love all things spooky. I'm glad that you do too. So exciting. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it.
Sweet. I'm excited.
I am too.
So should we do Miles first or me, or let's do Miles?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're going to do both, so.
I know. Yeah. I did want to ask you guys, I wanted to kind of stir the pot before we get started. Do you guys have, like how much do you know about astrology? Like, how into have you been?
Question. Well, personally for me, like, it's so funny you mentioned that, because, like, when we grew up together, and Miles' mom had
this book called The Secret Language of Birthdays.
I love that book. That's a great book.
Yeah. And there's 3 books in the set, and I have 2 of them, and you have the...
Yeah, my mom, like, kind of gave them. She gave me the birthday one, because she was like, I don't need this anymore, and then gave you the relationship one.
And then what you're destined to be, or something like that. So I have both of those. And I've always, like, looked at the description for Virgos, and it's always, like, organized. I'm like, I am not that at all. Like, I'm only that way for certain stupid things, like... But in my everyday life, like, no, it's really annoying. Like, I wish I had this trait, but no, like, and, but yeah, like, I follow, like, different Instagram accounts about, like, crystals and witchcraft and stuff, and I believe, like, more of, like, the powers of the universe and, like, giving out that positive energy, and it's gonna come back to you, and that type of thing. Miles, do you just read?
I think astrology is interesting. Like, because I really like the Aquarius sign. I'm an Aquarius, and like I super identify with it. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe it doesn't fit for other people or something. But like my sign, I think is spot on. So, and whenever I'm in a relationship, I like Google like Aquarius like Cancer match, and they're like terrible. I'm like, damn it. Like everything, or like
I do that too.
Yeah, or they're like Aquarius,
yeah.
like I don't even know, Pisces, and they're like shitty. I'm like, come on.
No.
And now I'm an Aquarius. Yeah, so now I'm dating a Libra, and they're like, one of the best matches for you. And I'm like, thank God. I'm like...
And he's hot, too. Thank God.
Yeah, oh my God.
That was the thing.
Marika was on Hot Watch, where, like, I would date guys, and she was like, no.
Like, they're not hot enough for you. I love that.
Yeah.
It's really true.
But now...
After, like, the third boyfriend of not being hot, I'm like, what are you doing?
But now I feel like dating somebody hot, now it is a new thing, because I'm like, oh my God, I look like trash. Because I'm like, you're so beautiful. Like, I know, but it's just a comparison thing where I'm like, I need to wipe my teeth. I need to buy a blow dryer. Like, oh my God.
So funny.
I think you're both equally hot.
Well,
yeah, I do.
So.
Yeah.
Do you guys have, like, a sign that you have kind of noticed, like, either you are attracted to or that you don't get along with? I kind of wanted to...
Not really. I'm attracted to mostly unavailable men, so...
Same. Feel you.
And those are all the signs. I am attracted to The person I was attracted to the most is probably like a Taurus, and then
A Ford Taurus?
yeah. And then I don't remember. A Taurus was like the love of my life. So so yeah. But other than that, like just a wide range of people. Miles?
Yeah, I haven't really had one that I've gravitated towards. Like, I dated a Cancer, and I was like, never again. And then I was kind of like, for Aquarius, and then I was kind of like flirting with a different Cancer, and it was a lot of the same. Even just like Facebook flirting with like that guy that came from Texas like into town.
Oh yeah.
He was also a Cancer, and I was like, oh God, and like no.
Oh, it's so
that's
funny,
the only one where I'm like, fuck that. Like I have Cancer like friends, but I'm like, ooh, dating no.
That's how because Cancer and Aquarius, they for some reason do attract each other. Where like Aquarius, like Cancers are like all emotions, where Aquarius is you guys don't really like to display a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
like
so
this weird like it's like this weird like opposite attracts, because like I also have like, because I am a Cancer and I've dated.
Well,
no, you're fine. I literally have always like been really good friends with Aquariuses.
Yeah.
But romantically, it's never worked. But for some reason, I do attract them into my life. I attract a lot of Geminis, and I love them. They're great, but I do not mesh well with Geminis.
have two personalities.
They are. So they're very love-hate. I'm so sorry for all the Geminis out there, but they're a love-hate relationship with them, because they are very back and forth, and they're funny, and they're like super entertaining, and they're so smart.
Yeah,
but
I've noticed that I've never been attracted to a Gemini. I've noticed that.
they're a lot. They can be a lot. My mother is a Gemini with 5 Gemini placements in her chart, and so she's literally she's just full Gemini, and it's so funny. And like she was like the fun mom, and like we'd always do like cool things. She's like, you can express yourself, color your hair, who gives a shit? Like that's how she was. But like stability was not really like, you know, because just like it's an air sign, go with the flow, like literally just floating and through the air, and just, you know, like just so like it was like woo, like every day was different. There's no plans, it's just like woo. Woo. But it's
Geminis are woos.
They're woos. They really are. But I it's a love-hate relationship with them. But yeah, it's interesting.
It's funny because I had a Gemini partner at my last agency. Like, I'm in advertising, so like I have like a partner at work, and we do everything together. And his name was Marty, but he was very like kind of almost a meek, like nervous person, like quieter. But then like his other alter ego was Party, which is like when alcohol was introduced, and he was like loud and like just like this other. We're like, oh, I guess that's where the Gemini's happening. It's like Marty and Party.
Yep.
Yeah.
Marty Party.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And that is the interesting thing about them is like sometimes they're not always like very loud and like super outgoing. Like on the surface, it is like very like different. Like I feel like a lot of Geminis are very different, but they also are like very much the same. Where it really is 2 different personalities, but you don't know which one is going to be like the forefront.
Oh.
So some are like full like just their like kind of bad shadowy side might be the forefront, and some of them the like light side, the like, you know, fun like, you know, other side of them can be the one that's at the forefront. So it's just kind of getting to know that other side. So they're really interesting, and they're the most controversial sign in the chart, in the zodiac for sure, because it's like you have Geminis that are amazing. Like you have I mean, our president is a Gemini. And then you also have like Kanye West is a Gemini, and you have like, oh my god, who else is a Gemini? I literally wrote down like what celebrities are in each one, because it's
Beyonce.
really, honestly, I wrote that down, and I was like, do I even need to talk about any other Virgos? Because Beyonce is really...
I said that over the weekend. And I'm like, Beyonce's on our side for Virgos.
She is the queen Virgo. I mean, she's like the executive queen of the United States. So I'm like, do we have to talk about anyone else?
No. Hillary Duff, who?
Yeah, she's a Virgo too.
Yeah.
She is. Also, so Zendaya is.
Yes, a Virgo.
Adam Sandler, Jason Derulo, Freddie Mercury, Jada Pinkett Smith also. So yeah, there's a lot. And like Aquarius, there's a lot of famous Aquarius. Is also Oprah is probably the most famous Aquarius.
Oh, wow.
So, like, sorry.
You're welcome.
Beyonce, so.
You're welcome, world. Yeah, there's like a lot of. Oh, Bobby Brown is also an Aquarius, which is interesting because Whitney Houston is a Leo, and Leo and Aquarius are actually their sister signs. So you sit opposite to each other, so you are attracted to each other. So you kind of like boost. You can either boost each other up or bring each other down because you can't have fire without wind.
One of the greatest reality shows of our time was
Honestly,
Bobby Brown.
truly, that was Bobby.
Maya Rudolph did such a great impression of like Whitney Houston, like so good. Okay, this might be TMI, but I will never forget. There is a scene where they're talking to their daughter, and they're discussing what true love is, and they're like, "True love is when you're pulling poop out of your."
I'm glad you were the one to mention that because that's literally all I
your
think
husband
of.
or your wife's asshole, because like she was yelling.
Pulling.
Yeah, she was yelling for Bobby, and she was very constipated. So he helped her.
Pulling.
Yeah.
Pulling.
Yeah.
Is it that hard? It's like a hard object that can be pulled.
It's when you're like very constipated, like yeah, it cuts your butt. You didn't know that?
No, I'm just thinking about somebody with their hand trying to pull a soft thing.
It's
like,
not soft. Though.
Apparently
It's
it
not
soft.
soft. Okay.
I'm so happy you mentioned that because that's all I think of whenever I think of the show is that scene. And that's I'm like, I don't want to be the one to mention it, but yeah, I'm glad that somebody did.
But they're not wrong. They're not wrong.
No, they're not.
That is true.
It is. It's a lot.
Well,
It's a lot. But
That's-
hey, if they're willing to do it, like damn, like that is real love.
I mean, yeah, you know, they really were like, if you look at their chart, they really are like a match made in heaven, but like I guess it's not the right. Right? I was like, ooh, heaven might not be the right word.
Yeah.
But they are super super compatible, and same with Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis because she's a Leo,
Oh.
so they're like super like compatible. It's like it's really interesting.
Okay, so Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly were talking about their twin flames.
Oh yeah. Twin flames are it's kind of like a soulmate. It's super hard to find your twin flame. Not everybody has one. Everybody has a soulmate, but not everybody has a twin flame. It's where your souls are literally like they're really connected. And you can be connected like through like past lives where you guys were together in a past life and you're supposed to be together now and you're supposed to basically keep finding each other. I've had a reading done and they told me I had a twin flame and I'm like, okay, well where he's at though, because I have not met him yet. And and I was like, that's cool, but yeah,
Does not everyone have a twin flame?
No, not everybody does. But people can have soulmates. So you can still find like love and that super deep connection.
Yeah.
And soulmates also don't necessarily have to be romantic. They can be platonic.
Right.
So it's just somebody who like, because you can have friends that are your soulmates. You can have relationships, and you can have multiple soulmates throughout your life too, which is really interesting. So you might have somebody who you were like really close to and you felt like you were soulmates, but just life changes, you change, and then you find another soulmate. So and it's normally people that have, I mean, you guys have known each other since kindergarten.
Yeah.
So like you guys are probably soulmates. Like
My brain's like,
You're like, fuck.
like, oh damn,
Yeah,
stuck with her forever.
yeah.
You're like, you're not gonna ever be able to shake me.
No.
I don't want to.
Right?
Okay.
But
That's so funny. But yeah, you guys probably are, honestly. Yeah, twin flames are really, really interesting. I'm still kind of learning about that. But yeah, it's really, there's a whole bunch with like your past lives and everything that you can kind of learn. And there's people you're supposed to meet. There's people are like literally supposed to be in your life. And like the universe says, like these people are supposed to be
I love that so much.
in your life. So are you excited to see
Yes.
charts?
Yes. I'm so excited.
Okay. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, this is Miles's.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
No, you each, because I wanted you each, so you each have. I printed 3 copies of each, so you each have one, so you can kind of.
Okay. So Kailey basically brought a book report.
I really did.
There's like colored folders at Staples.
And
I bought a 3-hole punch yesterday and did not use it.
Didn't put our name on it, so I don't know who gets the A+ here.
Failed. So yeah, it's basically what your birth chart is. It's the snapshot of where the universe was at the second you were born. Mm-hmm. So it's really unique to you. And it's basically like the universe telling kind of a story about like who you are, a little bit about like destiny, and just explaining different aspects of yourself. The one thing that was really fun about reading both of your charts is you guys are pretty different, but like one of the main themes through your chart is wanting to learn and this like need to know things and just like need to constantly be like gaining knowledge and wanting to learn, like just like even if it's like something mundane, just like wanting to like which I was like literally this whole podcast is, you know, like learning about different areas, and it was really weird. It was definitely like a very common theme throughout like the whole, like both of your guys' charts is that like that knowledge seeking, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
So you, Miles, are an Aquarius sun. And I love Aquariuses because you guys are it's an air sign. So very go with the flow, constantly changing, moving around. But Aquariuses are like a little bit more chill than I would say Libras and Geminis are, where you guys are very unique. You're all individuals. So it's interesting because if you look at every Aquarius, each has like a very distinct style or like very much like their own. Whereas like I sometimes feel like you could look at like Leos where they're very eccentric and a lot of them dress, you know, very eccentrically. But like Aquariuses, it's like all over the place. I mean, you look at like the difference between Oprah and Paris Hilton, you know, one is very laid back, one is very out there.
Right.
And the cool thing about Aquariuses is you guys are humanitarians and you truly want to see like change in the world. So you're constantly wanting to learn more and get to know, like very open to getting to know like different cultures, different backgrounds, different like very accepting. And you guys are very like think outside the box. So you know, you're not going to think the exact same way as somebody else. You know, constantly like very open-minded. So very open to receiving different types of knowledge, but you know, you still kind of have your own beliefs, but you like are okay absorbing different ideas and different thoughts that people have, which is really cool. One of the things with it, like with air signs in general, is being aware of detaching. So kind of like you're nodding your head.
You guys like nodding. I'm like, let's see where this goes.
Sometimes you guys like, and it's detaching is in you kind of go into your own world. Sometimes sometimes emotions aren't the easiest thing for Aquariuses to grasp. So when people are very outwardly like emotional, sometimes you're like, like don't really.
That is like so true.
Like, So you kind of like, you're listening, but you are like, you shut down a little bit. So it's like, you're still like, oh yeah, I fully hear you. Like, But then like, they're like, it's like, you're still kind of like, nah, I don't want to. This is a lot. Like, whoever.
Oh, God. Whoa.
But you are also like, you're able to like really like go with the flow. So you're able to adapt really easy to like different like situations.
That's true.
But at the same time, you are social, but you're a little bit more homebodies than like Gemini and Libra, who is like fully like needs to be around people 24/7, constantly needing to be in like talking to somebody, and which is not a bad thing. But Aquarius is a little different, where you guys are like, okay, this is enough social interaction. Y'all need to
run out of like Labor Day weekend. I like ran out of steam at like 8 p.m. on that or 7 p.m. on that Monday. I was like with other people and I just like stopped talking. Yeah. I just like didn't talk for 2 hours.
Oh my God.
I'm out of energy.
Charge. That is a very like Aquarius energy, and which, because you guys are so open-minded and you guys are like so you take in a lot, and then it does become like overwhelming. So it is like, okay, I need to like go somewhere else. I need to. So that's big. That's really funny. Yeah. I do that too, where I'm like, okay, this is enough. Just Irish goodbye. Just like, okay.
I just like, I'm gonna go now. Like, yeah, I'm like, bye.
But Scorpio rising it's a really fun. I love that, like, as a rising for somebody, because a lot of it, so your rising sign is how the world perceives you. So it's kind of your first impression to the world. So it's pretty much like kind of like the mask you put on for the world. And it has like, so pretty much how, the world, and it also shows you kind of the direction your life is going to be steered in. But it does, I'm pretty positive it does get less prevalent the older you get. So some things in your chart actually, after like a certain point, aren't as like controlling of you. So I believe when you're like 25 is about when your rising sign starts to not be as like noticeable, and like kind of dropping that mask a little bit. But the fun thing about like, so your moon is in Capricorn. Capricorns are like, Capricorn is, I mean, they're the dad of the zodiac, the big dad energy, but they are very practical, very serious, very logical. They really are. They're like big dad energy. But they're like the business people of the zodiac, so they're very business oriented. But not always like physical business. Like there's, different, depending on where it's at in your chart, it's kind of rules like different areas. But paired up with your Scorpio rising, what did I write? Oh, yes. So those two together make you like very determined. And Scorpios are very mysterious. So I feel like with like, so if it comes to like work, like if you are going up against somebody else for like a promotion, Scorpios and like Scorpio and that Capricorn energy will make you determined to do it, but nobody sees you coming, and then just like swoop in. So it's like, because like Scorpios are kind of like, pretty much like a ninja, and like you're able to like, move forward, but kind of on like the DL. Yeah. So you're not like outwardly like saying like, oh, I want this, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna, like not like as like crazy, like you are ambitious, but you're not going to show it as much. Yeah. So sometimes like with having a Scorpio rising, sometimes it's hard for people to read you. But you also are able to kind of see through people. So you are able to read people a little bit more than people are able to read you. Which is interesting.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, people have trouble. Well, you've known me forever, but people that are like new to me, like when I had a mentor when I was in advertising school, she was like, I thought that you did not like me for like 3 months. And then I was like, oh no, that's just you, how you talk, we're like, yeah.
And that's like Scorpio does have a very serious kind of demeanor. Normally, even if they don't necessarily feel that way, that's kind of like the demeanor that Scorpio does give off, because Scorpio is very mysterious, very like just like just sneaky.
But
not sneaky, but like
you have the ability to see through people.
I
no.
Do you?
Okay, you don't like see the only person you see me interact with is you. Like you don't see me at work. You don't see me with new people.
I've known you since like kindergarten, so.
But like I think I pay attention to people and listen to them, pay attention to the details, and like I think that's why I'm
maybe because you don't
a
talk
good
about
conversationalist, because like I'll call back to what somebody said, or I'll ask them. Like I definitely do like people and perceiving them that way.
And that is a fun, like, an air sign trait where, because they do detach, but you're still listening. So it's like you might be over here mentally, but you're still actually like listening. So somebody's like, what did I just say? You're still able to like repeat it back to them.
Yeah.
Even if you're not fully like, like in the room mentally, like that's a big air sign quality.
Yeah. So what does it mean, like, so these like traits that Miles has, like sun, moon, like rising, like, is there something that like weighs heavily like the most, or is everyone different, like where one area is like bigger than the other area?
Yeah, so it kind of depends on how each sign corresponds with each planet. So technically Capricorn doesn't mesh with the moon very well, just because the moon is very emotional and it's very like quote unquote feminine energy, whereas Capricorn is very masculine energy. So they're a little opposite. So they don't necessarily mesh well, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad placement necessarily. Okay. But it does kind of make it a little bit harder, because Capricorns aren't like, they don't really like to show their emotions a lot either. So they have the ability to kind of, it's hard, like if you get upset or get defensive, it's shut somebody off and get like icy kind of, and it's like cold shoulder. But that's if somebody is like either irritating you or you just like don't like them, like they'll know, like not necessarily by your words, but by like just you being like no, like just you should be able to feel it.
That is true.
And one of the things with your chart is there's also a big theme about revolving around like money and like your finances.
Oh my god!
Okay,
and like
just wait till money could be interpreted anyway. So what?
Yeah, because I was reading while she was talking, so I know what she's gonna say.
Yeah, so there's like so you, because there's different houses on top of having planets. So the house is going to be like the main theme and the thing that's going to kind of affect you the most. So yours is in the second house, which has a lot to do with finances, money, gaining wealth. So for you, a lot of you might sometimes struggle with like not wanting to spend your money, just having like because of having like a fear of losing it.
So spot.
It's very spot.
Yeah.
Spot on.
I literally like debated buying shoes today, like a $30 shoes at Marshall's, like for like 20 minutes. Went to a different store, came back, tried them on.
So you aren't like an emotional shopper. No. So which is for me.
I have crazy buyer's remorse.
Yeah, that's like a thing within your chart, is kind of a reoccurring theme of being really afraid of spending your money, or just constantly like hoping that you are acquiring wealth, or just wanting to be comfortable, like always wanting to be financially stable, financially comfortable. So like one of the things that was a part of it was kind of like one thing that your chart is kind of telling you to work on is like being okay with spending some money.
Yeah.
And there's nothing
I've gotten a
wrong
lot better.
with.
You have.
A lot better than
He has.
like than when I was in
Yeah.
college. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, being like just not wanting to, which is and it's just valid, and it's not like a bad trait to have. I wish I was better at spending, like saving
Same.
money.
Yeah.
I'm constantly like, why am I poor? As I'm sitting on like my like new shoes and a new blanket and
Right.
like all this like stuff,
Yeah.
and like I'm just
Right.
like, why don't I have
my problem
money?
is sushi. Like, I just sushi all the time.
That's my issue. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. That's why I'm poor. Like that's why
Yeah.
I'm broke. Is like all this new stuff because I am an emotional shopper. My moon is in Taurus. Taurus is very much about material items. So when in comfort. So when I am feeling emotional, I go to food and shopping, and that's like something I'm working on.
When I'm not even emotional, I'm like, yeah. So it's just every day.
It's just a normal thing. So you have not everybody has it, but a lot of charts have it. It's called the stellium, which is a reoccurring theme within your chart. So your reoccurring theme is the second house. So you have 5. So you have 5 different planets in the second house. So that's something that is definitely a very powerful focus in your life. And so, yeah, it has one of the main focuses that surrounds your life, and kind of the subconscious has a lot to do with finances and gaining wealth. And I wrote down, you have a powerful need for financial security, also to use your voice. You want to be heard and have a lot of amazing things to say. Be cautious of coming across too pushy or kind of as a know-it-all. And don't allow money to control your life in an overly obsessive or unhealthy manner.
Everything that Kailey says, Marika just like cocks her head and like does like a smirk at me.
Just like great that everything is like solidified in a way of like who you are.
It is interesting, and I also really love when things do correlate, because I'm always like, I know what I'm talking about, but I wanted to like actually, you know what I mean?
No, money is like so linked to. We talked about it on the back in the day. We did like I don't know money or something.
Yeah.
Like it's very linked to security for me, and like to lose money is kind of to become less secure. Like it's very all tied together. Like. Even when I bought this condo, like I was like for 6 months, I was like, did I buy the right place? Was this stupid? Should I still be renting like for a long time? Yeah. And
that's one thing that like it is good because you are very cautious about your spending, but just be careful of not being too cautious, because there are certain things you can buy like condo, you know, that is good for you,
or when you're on
and
vacation.
that is
yeah. I go on vacations. We just do it on the cheap.
right.
Yeah, but you're on vacation. That's when you splurge a little bit because you're on vacation.
Yeah, and I do and have.
That when I'm there.
That's because you couldn't afford going to lunch with my brother and sister-in-law, so I
But
had
we just had to go
$30 sauerkraut or whatever the fuck it was without you.
Okay, that because we went to Versailles instead.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to go see Versailles.
But like,
and you didn't. You already saw Versailles. So
but
that's
like
what you did with.
But you guys like were broke though.
I wanted to go eat mussels in Bruges, and you're like, this is too expensive.
I don't remember that.
Also, one of the things, you also have a lot of Aquarius in your chart,
Yes,
too.
honestly, that's what I prayed for, because I am obsessed with Aquarius. I just want to be like pure Aquarius. Like, I love it.
You do. So your Mercury is also Aquarius. So your Mercury is how you communicate with others. You know, how you explain yourself, and like how you think, and like reason with the world. So it's pretty balanced when you have an Aquarius in Mercury. You love talking about different topics, which is like this whole podcast is different podcasts, like, or different every episode is different, you know, like thing, which I found that was super interesting. You love to debate, like you might like to like have like an intelligent conversation, and while you're still like being able to learn something new and share like the knowledge that you have, so that's a important thing for you, is like to be able to like express yourself and to be able to like talk about the different things you're learning and or have learned and sharing ideas and
I feel like this makes me feel like I'm like not hitting my true potential because I'm like, what am I learning about? Like X-Men and like K-pop. Like I should be learning about like politics and
absolutely not. It's no. And that also is Aquarius because you don't.
It's depressing out there. Like,
it is, yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that because Aquarius is also because you guys are outside the box. It's like you're not going to look to always learn what everybody else is wanting to learn. So you might find like some obscure thing that you're like, oh, I'm like into this and this is kind of weird and whatever. Not everybody else is going to be into it, but like you really want to know more about it. So that is like, because you are so outside the box and they like really like Aquarius is like, you know, march to the beat of their own drum and like don't want to be like everybody else, which is such a cool, like I love that. Aquarius like you just also like don't really care what people think about you, which is a great thing, or not as like like not really care too much. Like it doesn't you don't let it get, if somebody doesn't like you, you're like, all right, well, you don't like me, like it is what it is, kind of a thing. Which is great because I'm like, if you don't like me, I will cry. No. You also, another thing that was fun is, your Venus, which is relationships, whether romantic or platonic, so it can be friendships, but yours is in Aries. So Aries is a fire sign. So for you, when it comes to relationships and love, you do like a partner that does like keep you excited and keeps you interested and like will like keep you on your toes and like will go with the flow and is like
I always feel like I have that right now, but whenever I read that about Aquarius and stuff, I'm like, I feel like that's so much to ask. Like, why am I being like, I'm gonna be bored unless you're like constantly like switching things up? Like to me that seems like such a demand.
I mean, I think it just goes with the personality.
Yeah.
And you have to be challenging for the other person, too, I'm sure, even if they don't have Aries.
Yeah, because I'm always just speaking about random stupid shit that I read about or whatever. So it's just like random story time all day. But the guy I'm dating, like, he loves cooking, recipes, like cocktails. So he's always like, oh, I saw it, like, we went to Chinatown and had dumplings. He's like, I think I can make that better, and I have this cook, but that. So it's always like this never-ending parade of like food and drink. Yeah. Which is not something I'm good at. So I like. So I'm jealous.
I'm so jealous right now.
So it's like and that's not my world. So I'm always like constantly learning about all that stuff.
So yeah, he's able to keep you like on your toes and like like learning something new, and also with him being a Libra. They love to talk. Like Libras and Gemini also like will talk all day long and very good with communication. So like you going off on like little random topics all day, he probably loves it because he's just like yes. Like let's keep going. Let's keep talking about different stuff. Let's keep which is really cute.
Thank God it's not annoying.
No, like my best friend is super Libra. Like I think she has like 5 Libra placements, and we literally can talk all day long. And we talk. She's like one of the only people I actually talk on the phone with. Like I don't talk on the phone with a lot of people, and she's probably like one of the only ones. And we always like it. Our topics will go all over the place, and she also is very into astrology too. So every time we're on the phone, we'll talk about a celebrity. And we're like, what's their chart? Like, I know the chart. Like, what is it? And we're like, just like, I know so many, like, random stupid celebrities' birth charts. Because I'm like, I gotta know. Why are they like this? Why do they do the things that they do? And so that's, like, so it's a big Libra thing.
Do you think that you fall in love, like, fast?
I don't know, because I'm, like, redefining what love means right now.
Okay,
like,
I love that. I don't think you do.
Well, I don't think I was ever with the right people. You know?
Valid.
I mean, like, last summer when I was with somebody that I really got along with and we only went on 5 dates and then he, like, broke up with me over text. It's whatever. But, like, on date 5, I was like, I want you to be my boyfriend. Like, we, like, get along so well. We're so comfortable. Like, And he was like, yeah, let's like talk about it. Like,
oh no.
But I think like with that, I was just like, okay, everything like clicks here. So why wouldn't I ask this question? But so this time around, where I do like a year later, where I have a boyfriend now, I was like, I'm not making that mistake. He has to ask me. I will wait it out. Like I can see like date 2 that this is like a really good match.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah, and it's like, which is good. It's like acknowledging that you normally are the one to initiate things and maybe like doing things a little differently.
Yeah.
Because like with Aries are very headstrong and like go all in. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that can be too much for people depending on the person. And obviously, you know, they were just not the right person. But sometimes like learning to like balance that out, because with having like your Venus in Aries, you are super passionate and like you're super protective of your partner, and you love like you do want to be in love, but sometimes like moving a little bit too quickly, kind of like, you know, stumbling over your feet, and then that's when like you don't always like find like the best person, and then it's like, oh shit, never mind, they were not right. And then it's like after the fact, because like, but kind of like, which again, like a lot of like other aspects of your chart, I feel like does balance that out. Especially that Cap moon, because it's very logical. So like with Aries being fire, the earth is able to kind of tame that fire down a little bit to like, you know, kind of bring it to embers where you're able to like, okay, let's think about this like logically and also with your heart and like your head. So like bringing all of that together. Right? You really do, because your sun is air, your moon is earth, and your rising is water. So you have like a pretty good balance throughout your chart, and you do have a couple like fire placements also. So like your Mars is in Sagittarius. So your Mars has a lot to do with like sex and aggression. So it's
every single like word Marika just like looks at me,
I cannot.
And I'm like, Kailey's like halfway through a sentence, like she hasn't made the point yet.
You're like, that's you.
Like,
that's you.
Because you're not a sexual person though.
Again, how do you know, Marika?
Because that
my
Scorpio
platonic
rising
friendship.
can also make you mysterious. We don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
But Sagittarius.
I think I do at this point with the podcast.
I think I don't have like.
And your brother's definitely not.
I think if we're talking about like sex, like I don't have like this crazy drive to just like have sex with everybody, have sex all the time. I haven't had sex with that many people in my life. But I think if we take it back from sex, like if I'm with a person, like I really like touching them, like I like have like a huge sexual fantasy like life. I like sexting, like all of that stuff.
I love sexting.
It's just not like necessarily like I'm doing anal all across Chicago.
One dick at a time. And that is a big like Sagittarius like energy, is being open to sex and being open to like,
oh yeah, there's
like,
fantasies in there.
Yeah, and they're very like, especially with Scorpio rising, where Scorpio like deals with sex, so like that's like their big like sexual energy. So being open to different like kinks and fetishes, and like even if you're not necessarily doing them, like you're totally down to like listen to somebody like talk about it. Yeah. And but also down to like try different things.
Down to clown.
Right, exactly.
Down to clown.
Like adventurous and like, you know what, fuck it, like, let's try something new. Like,
to me I'm like, well, I don't have any judgment, like, it's all, like, whatever, you know?
Let's do this.
My first boyfriend was a furry, and I would, like, try to engage with that, and he would, like, not have it. I was like, let's talk about it, like, is it a horse, like, taking a bath, like, what's happening? He was like, I'm not doing this with you.
Oh my god! What do they call that when they have sex? Yiffing. I think that's what they call it. Yeah, yiffing.
He was still kind of coming into it, so I don't think he was ready to like really bring me into that world. But I was like, if you want to bring me in, like,
I would be a little butthurt.
I
would be, yeah. Just, yeah.
I don't know if I could.
He's married to another furry now.
I I love that.
Yeah.
You know, two furries getting together, yiffing it up,
Yeah.
just
To a
having a good, having a good
woman,
time.
so,
Yeah.
interesting.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Meeting up
That's
with a woman.
that's wild. So yeah, I mean, it's just like you're down, like you're
Yeah.
open, and
Yeah.
it's okay to talk about it or try it. And yeah, and that's really like your like big five. Is like the sun, moon, or six actually. Sun, moon, rising, Mercury, Venus, Mars. Like those are the ones that, because those, sorry if I'm wrong, but I believe those ones are the closest to the Earth. So those are the ones that give us like have more energy. So a lot of times people don't really talk much about Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
Okay.
So there are those, but they don't necessarily like they affect your life, but they're not like the main ones.
things.
So knowing at least like your big three or knowing the five is really important. The other stuff does have to do with some like other like kind of more subconscious-y kind of feelings, like spirituality, stuff like that. But really, and it's interesting, yeah, for the most part, like yours really did have a lot to talk about, like your finances and just being cautious about them.
Yeah, so cautious.
And but one of the things that really overall, I think I wrote, because I wrote like notes like while I was like doing like at the very end, said never stop seeking knowledge. You are so curious and have a need to learn, which is a beautiful attribute. Wanting to constantly learn and grow is what's going to help you gain fulfillment within yourself.
Aww.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Love
like
it.
learning to have like a healthy relationship with money and finances, and not letting it control you, and not allowing yourself to become like obsessive over it, and being
Because you
okay.
deserve it, Miles.
You do deserve it.
You deserve the kind of things in life.
Oh my god.
You worked
earned
hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's your chart.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, do you think like this applies, like overall applies to you? Like anything that stands out that you think it
I
doesn't?
like agreed. I mean, I'm gonna have to like read it, but I like all the points we just talked about. I was like, yeah.
It's really interesting. It's like really when you like, and that's like the thing that I love about astrology is it's really like use it as a tool to kind of like break down different areas of yourself, because also like every sign will have an evolved and unevolved side, so a good and a bad, so like positive and negative traits, and kind of seeing like being able to see like, oh shit, like this is maybe I'm a little bit more unevolved in this area, this is an area that I should work on, and kind of seeing, so it's kind of like used as like a tool to constantly be like working on yourself and like learning about yourself, and that's like really one of the fun things about astrology. Also, it's nice to be seen, to be like, yes, this is me, like somebody gets it, you know.
That's true. That's true.
Like I just want to be seen. Like that's like probably one of the biggest things. That's why astrology memes are so big right now, is because it's like, that's me.
Yeah.
All right, I'm excited to show you yours, because you are like a super Virgo.
Hey guys, I'm recording this from editing the episode. We had so much content that we ended up splitting this into 2 episodes. So please tune in next week for Marika's episode all about her birth chart. And then also we do our fails of the week and kind of wrap it all up. So see you next week. God, I look like trash.